Australian pro tennis player Nick Kyrgios has a bright future ahead of him, and it's not surprising that a lot of others think so as well. For today's video, we'll be talking about how a certain ATP legend said that Nick Kyrgios, quote, could do some really good things in line with the sport. Plus, the Australian just became the center of heartbreaking news. Find out all about this and more in today's video. A certain ATP legend voiced out that Australian pro tennis player Nick Kyrgios, quote, could do some really good things. ATP legend John McEnroe has something to say about Nick Kyrgios. John McEnroe, a legendary tennis player, recently discussed the contentious Australian Nick Kyrgios and asserted that Kyrgios is the player to whom the American is currently most frequently compared. According to McEnroe, Nick Kyrgios is the best player he most closely resembles. If he stays devoted for the foreseeable future, Kyrgios has the potential to achieve great things in tennis. Quote, to that with Nick, he's moving the needle and there's a lot of new fans coming into the sport because of him, so that's a real positive thing. The ATP legend said and added that Kyrgios is electrifying in a way he'd like to think. A portion of Kyrgios' electrifying play, according to McEnroe, is the same as the one he brought to the game when he entered it. We all dread failure, and we work to overcome it as best we can, said McEnroe in closing his remarks about the Australian. He claimed that carrying out one's duties to the best of one's capacity is the best thing one can accomplish, and it's difficult to do every time. Moving on to other related news, Nick Kyrgios thinks he'd make a pretty great combination with fellow Australian pro tennis player Ashleigh Barty. Ashleigh Barty and Nick Kyrgios would make an excellent team to play mixed doubles, according to Kyrgios. Several players were asked which legend they would most like to play mixed doubles within a film made for the Tennis Channel. Former Grand Slam champion Barty was mentioned by Kyrgios, who made her first Grand Slam final at Wimbledon this year. Barty, who won the Australian Open this year, surprised everyone by announcing her unexpected retirement from tennis at the age of 25. Even though Ashleigh Barty and Kyrgios have never been linked with each other, the 27-year-old tennis player believes that they would make a good combination. In case you missed it, Barty won the Australian Open Women's Singles Championship, while Kyrgios and Thanasi Kokkinakis won the Men's Doubles Championship. After he and Kokkinakis won the tournament, Kyrgios said that Barty's father visited them and told them that they had the best crowd he's ever seen. Barty was also commended by Kyrgios, who called her a great player, but he emphasized that people watch his games and asserted that this is why the stadiums are filled everywhere he plays in the world. Some Australian media sources perceived Kyrgios' sentiments, which were not very good, as an attack on Barty. The following day, Kyrgios turned to Instagram to express his love and respect for Barty. Quote, what the media? Honestly, I haven't said anything disrespectful to Ashleigh Barty. Kyrgios wrote on his Instagram account, I'm sad because this year's audience was amazing, and I feel like Thanasi Kokkinakis and I were a big part of that. So hopefully that clears up things about what Kyrgios has to say about his fellow athlete. Now in other related news, Nick Kyrgios got caught up at the center of heartbreaking news after enjoying a remarkable year. What dreadful piece of news is this? Keep on watching to find out. Nick Kyrgios has effectively ended his singles season by pulling out of the forthcoming Swiss Indoors and Paris Masters competitions. The Australian star last competed in the Japan Open at the beginning of the month, but he withdrew due to a knee injury before his match against Taylor Fritz in the quarterfinals. The 27-year-old was forced to take a flight back to Australia to rest his delicate left knee, which has frequently given him trouble throughout his career. Quote, obviously very disappointing. It's one of my favorite tournaments. I've had great memories here, the athlete said after announcing his withdrawal, but pulling out is the smart option for my body. I've got a couple of events left in the year and I want to do well in them, so I have to be smart. You may believe that's the end of it, but things got worse on Friday when it was discovered that Kyrgios has also pulled out of the Paris Masters and Swiss Indoors in Basel. The 27-year-old was scheduled to play in both the singles and doubles matches at the ATP 500 tournament in Basel the following week, alongside Pedro Martinez of Spain. The world number 21's Paris Masters debut will also have to wait since he will not compete in the Bercy ATP 1000 tournament either. Despite having a slight knee problem around the time of the US Open, Kyrgios said he had been playing fantastic tennis all year. He explained that he probably didn't take enough time off after returning home and instead jumped right back into training. Due to the withdrawals, Kyrgios' singles season is probably done for 2022, but he still has a chance to compete in the doubles at the ATP Finals after the year. After winning their first Grand Slam doubles championship at the Australian Open in January, January, Kyrgios and Thanasi Kokkinakis still have a chance to advance to the ATP Finals. With all these happening, the Australian couldn't help but be sad that he was ending a remarkable year in such conditions. The Canberra native has performed admirably throughout a season in which he has started to live up to expectations and doesn't seem to have been deterred by off-court drama. He began the year outside of the top 100 players in the world, but he has since climbed the ranks with a consistency and maturity fans have rarely seen. His march to the Wimbledon final and victory in the Washington event brought an end to his extraordinary year. Quote, "I'm expecting some big things from myself for the rest of the year," Kyrgios said in a press statement to Tokyo. "I don't want to coast and wait until the Australian Open, I want to stay on the road." Kyrgios continued by saying that he knows in this situation pulling out is definitely overloaded rather than not being fit enough, and he believes it's maybe being too enthusiastic to come on the court and maybe working a little bit too much. He noted that this is both encouraging and heartbreaking at the same time. The 27-year-old said of his ailing knee that he has to deal with it his entire career and sometimes it wakes up very ordinary, and that when he was warming up alongside Kokkinakis, it didn't feel ideal. Jack Draper of the United Kingdom will take Kyrgios' position in Basel while he recovers, while Sebastian Korda will do the same in the Paris Masters. In other tennis-related news, Rafael Nadal is expected to succeed Roger Federer, with Nick Kyrgios also vying for recognition. The men's tour will shortly announce its nomination for its annual awards as the ATP season comes to a close. Former winners of Comeback Player of the Year include Andy Murray, Novak Djokovic, and Roger Federer. The current world number one, Carlos Alcaraz, earned the award for Most Improved Player last year. Additionally, Nick Kyrgios may be recognized for his strong season this year, while Rafael Nadal may end Federer's 19-year reign as the fan favorite. The ATP gathers the players who had the biggest influence on the tour that year, and their peers vote for them in categories like Most Improved and Sportsmanship Award, considering that there are just 2 complete tournaments left on the tour schedule. Express Sport is making predictions on who will win and be nominated in the major categories in 2022. For the Comeback Player of the Year, let's take a look at the athlete who has recovered from a serious injury and once again rank among the best on the ATP Tour. After returning from a year on the sidelines due to a shoulder surgery in 2021, Borna Soric is certain to win the trophy this year. He defeated Rafael Nadal in the second round of the Cincinnati Open in August, then went on to win his first Masters 1000 title at the conclusion of the week by defeating players like Felix Auger-Aliassime, Cameron Norrie, and Stefanos Tsitsipas. As a result, he climbed the world rankings from 152 to 29. Then we have the Stefan Edberg Sportsmanship Award is given to the athlete who, throughout the year, has shown the ultimate professionalism and integrity, competed with his fellow athletes in the spirit of the greatness, fairness, and promoted the game via his extracurricular endeavors. Nadal is the most likely winner here according to the voting patterns of ATP Tour players in recent seasons, since he and Federer have split the honor every year since 2004, with the Spaniard taking home his 5th title last season, due to his propensity to allow opponents to replay calls or be awarded points when he disagrees with them. Casper Ruud also appears to be nominated for a 2nd year in a row. And that's the latest update on Nick Kyrgios and other related news about tennis. What do you think of this year's winners? Let us know in the comment section below. Before you go, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to our channel with notification bell on for more videos just like these. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again next time.